We're back, y'all. So yeah, it was really nice that you were talking about Disney earlier. And for me personally, it's just always been a huge part of my life ever since I was 4 to 5 or so. So I remember the songs, I remember the characters. There's just something that is just really magical about and we keep saying magical a lot. That seems to be the key word for today. Um,
I think so.
it's just something that's like so special about those movies that were made, especially from like back in the 30s, 40s, 50s. When Uncle Walt was still with us, as
Right.
that's kind of a nickname
Like
that like I've
Fantasia.
seen. Yeah.
Fantasia.
Oh
Do you
yeah.
remember Fantasia? Oh
Oh
my
man.
goodness.
That
Yeah.
is right in my childhood too,
Oh,
man.
good,
Yeah,
good.
I remember watching The Sorcerer's Apprentice, and I was just like,
Oh, yes.
yeah, I was so blown away by the animation and just the character. Like, oh my gosh, Mickey Mouse is actually like the animators and the artists just really brought him to life. And that was kind of the first I know that a lot of like for shows or animation and like some media where like you get to really communicate and follow the character with like and no dialogue, it's kind of a pantomime performance. So you're
Well, it
really,
was it was
yeah,
really tying the music, classical music
and
in
classic,
into
yeah.
the animation, and that it was just mind-blowing. It was so
Yeah.
exciting. Yeah, I loved it.
I am a sucker for that stuff. I mean, you also see it in like Looney Tunes, and a lot of the other classic shorts from
Right.
the golden age. So I am also like a fan of like animation, just looking up research, like his, um, I know there's like a lot of historians who do like specifically cartoon research. I'm just kind of somebody who's like, oh, wait, this is actually a really cool because I wanted to be an animator and then I became an actor. So I guess that's some way that I could contribute to animation by bringing a character to life that
Absolutely.
another artist had, come up with. So,
Yeah. That was,
works
I mean,
just
that's
fine.
I would love to, I always loved looking at videos and footage that they would have of the voice actors, because that's something
Oh
that
yeah.
Disney, they, obviously they all do it now, but that they would take video of the voice actor and then actually animate all those things so that you could see, someone was thinking, and I just, yeah, I'm a sucker for all that kind of stuff.
Me too. Glad to know that we kind of see eye to eye with like this animation
Absolutely.
stuff. So, kind of shows that we never get old. Like when we were kids, it's like we never really outgrown our childlike dreams and
God,
fantasies and just never
I hope
outgrew
not.
being a child at heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I
always,
mean,
yeah,
that's the goal, right? To just
yeah,
keep looking at the world like through the eyes of a child. I mean, you can't go wrong that way. There's always wonder and amazement and things to be learned and be find beautiful and exciting and new and special and discovery. And I just, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on all of this.
yeah. So, what got you into, because I know you teach students and you coach with actors and you're part of the training program. So, how is it like for you? And what got you into teaching and coaching? And what do you really enjoy the most out of, juggling, taking on this huge responsibility of just training actors
Well,
and
it is a
just
huge responsibility.
leading a new
It's a
generation
huge
of people?
responsibility. Yeah,
Yeah.
everything, yes, it is a huge responsibility. I have a few students that I teach on a regular basis, but I have so far been loath to sort of hang up the shingle me like I'm teaching, because I'm still doing. So I feel like you said, it's a huge responsibility. And I want to be there for my students at all times. I don't want to all of a sudden be like, okay, I'm going to disappear for 9 weeks because I'm going to go and do this show. I want to be present for them and consistent. And so what I realized is my favorite thing I is doing master classes and going in and being the voice, not the one that's droning into your head week after week and here. And after a while, it doesn't matter how good a teacher you have. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But then if you come in as the masterclass person and you say the stuff, and it's so funny, it's one of my favorite moments when I'm working with students and young artists, and their teacher will be in the room when I'm working with them in front of other people, and I'll say something, and they'll stop and they'll look at their teacher, and the teacher will be like, "I've been saying that," and I'm like, "See, well, there it is." And I love being that voice, that outside voice that just says it in things in a slightly different way and nudges you in a slightly different direction, and then you see the spark of understanding in a young artist, or even in someone who's been doing it for a while. You get it stuck in your head that this is how I go about it, this is my process. And then all of a sudden you get poked and prodded a little bit in, out of your comfort zone, causes you to have to sort of react and feel and respond to just wait a minute, and not think so much, but just be. And I loved that part of it, especially as a someone who is really mental, and I overthink things to death. So to be able to encourage people to not think, and it only makes me a better performer for being able to watch other people go through the same process. It's really fun. I love it.
It's helping. It's a lot of fun. So, yeah, I guess you can just promote and share all of that once we, are near the end of this interview. So, yeah, I was also doing some research, and apparently it turns out that you actually did a lot of like on camera work as well.
Over the last few years in particular, I've had really fun experiences with the Law and Orders. I did SVU.
Yeah, that is so
I
awesome.
did,
Yeah, Law and Order is one of my favorite shows. I just, whenever somebody mentions Law and Order, I just kind of go on a little like fanboy type of thing. Yeah, I just gush about it. So yeah, it's awesome.
I did
Whenever
SVU.
yeah.
I did organized crime, Law
Oh
and
man,
Order,
those are,
organized crime. That
I've
was
been watching a
awesome.
lot of crime shows lately. Yeah,
I
that's what.
did Madam Secretary. I did The Good Fight, which was the Paramount Plus of The Good Wife. Then became The Good Fight. Um, I just did oh gosh, what is it? Evil. I did Evil. Um, and the fun one happened. There were people that were big fans of Broadway and wanted to give Broadway performers something to do. So they created this crazy thing that we shot during the pandemic in our houses, and it was called The Bite. And it was the most amazing, crazy thing that you've ever seen. Every Broadway person, Audra was in it, and Will Swenson was also in it because they're married, so they could do stuff together. There were a bunch of married couples. Rob McClure was in it. Beth Level was in it, and her husband Adam Heller. They did some stuff together. It was wild. And when that happened, I opened up my front door, and a big kit had been delivered to my front door, which I put on my kitchen table, and on it was a laptop and two cell phones and a microphone and a power strip and all of this stuff, and it was all self-contained, and a tripod, and I lifted up out of this big box and just put it there and set it and just turned it on, and all of a sudden there was the director and the camera people and all this stuff, and I had set up the shot, and in my kitchen, and put, with the lighting and all this stuff, and fortunately was doing a scene where I was doing a Zoom call with my doctor, so I was going like which so it was nuts, it was crazy. But then we finished filming that day, and I packed everything up, I put it back on my stoop, and they came and they picked it up. And that's how they filmed during the pandemic.
I mean, anything to get the job done, I guess.
Anything to get the job done. Yep.
Yeah. Um, this is sort of a silly question, but have you thought about doing audiobooks?
I did one. I've
Okay.
done one. Yeah, I because Audible is in Newark, New Jersey, and I live in Maplewood, New Jersey, and so it's, just a few stops on the train from here. So I had actually I think I had met someone who worked for Audible on the playground at the elementary school that my daughter was going to, and we she gave my name to somebody, and I called and I went in and I read some stuff, and I had a book. So I did that once, but then I've been busy, so I haven't been able to, do anymore. I might try to contact them again, because that was a crazy few days just to sit and read, and it's easy enough to do and kind of fun, because you get to embody all the different characters. And I would like to even do the nonfiction stuff. I think that would be awesome, because they can be so dry, and people can listen to that and fall asleep. But if you're not going to record your own, that for a write, because I think a lot of writers record their own audiobooks. That would be fun. So I've done one. I've done one.
Yeah. That would be nice to, share, just promote that one book that you did. I mean, you could share and promote it right now if you like.
I well, gosh, I can't remember the name of it. That's so terrible.
Oh man.
Yeah. Oh man, I know. I should have that looking, and I don't and I'm in the process of updating my website, so that's also not up at the moment. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm in a transitional period at the moment.
Yeah. So, are you a part of SAG after?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, perfect. Because I've done like past episodes where I speak with actors who are in the union, who are unionized, and we talk about, SAG and whatnot. So, I guess my question for you specifically is, because I usually ask, what are the benefits or the pros and cons of joining
Oh,
SAG or
I
just being in the
I
union in
found
general?
the book. Sorry, it's
Oh,
called
okay.
Equilibrium.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Equilibrium by Lori Thompson.
Okay, yeah. Good. That's pretty good to know.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I go back and, edit this together, I'll remember and then write it down and then just, add it in the little SoundCloud
Great.
description. Yeah, so to promotion. But yeah, anyways, pros and cons of joining the union and what to expect for um because if you're joining the union, like you're definitely taking your career to the next level. So what's your top advice for young actors out there who are thinking about doing SAG but they're not quite ready, or people who have had experience for years and they want to join the union, but they want to know what are the first steps when it comes to SAG and just being a part of, I guess, getting an agent and whatnot, getting into the business stuff. So, what's your top advice for those that want to get into the union and the pros and cons
Um,
of being, an
the
actor
I mean,
for SAG?
being a part of the union, I don't begrudge anyone working under any circumstances.
Yeah,
And
union
when
and
you're a
non-union,
young
because
person
there's a
coming,
big difference. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, especially when you're a young person coming in and you get the opportunity to do like student films and non-equity shows, and just be able to perform, getting out the, especially you think about people who are character people, who are basically, the notion of being like a 62-year-old woman in a 22-year-old body, like they're just not there yet. They haven't grown into who they are yet. So I'm not going to tell someone like that, no, you should only do union stuff, if those opportunities aren't presenting themselves. But um everyone will know that there is a jumping off point, where you feel like being in the union will benefit you. I lucked out because I got my equity card for theater. You had to be in the union in order to work at Pittsburgh Civic Light Opera. So I got to pay my dues, literal dues, not the figurative ones, but actually pay my money to get into the union in order to be in those summer shows that I did. And then when I was doing Broadway shows and starting to do the cast recordings, that you had to be in the union in AFTRA. And I think I did a day or two on a soap opera that's also AFTRA. So I either built up points toward getting in the union, and then eventually had gotten into AFTRA. And then I got into SAG basically because AFTRA and SAG finally blended. And so I was able to be in SAG for all of the work I had done in AFTRA. And then fortunately that I've been working more in SAG in the last, 3-4 years, and have it be worth it to be in there. But I've been able to get those opportunities and work on that stuff. So there, like what we were talking about earlier, there are so many ways to get yourself out there for people to see you. I suggest to young people all the time, make use of that. If you like posting on social media, then post on social media, but make it be you're selling yourself. You are a brand, you are a product, you are presenting yourself. So make sure you're not doing just all stupid stuff, but that you're doing things that are representing how you want to be out in the world. And people will see that and they'll find it. And I know plenty of folks that uh half of the cast of Dear Evan Hansen, came from open calls or the Jimmy Awards, or doing whatever kind of acting presentation things that people can do as a young performer. And then the casting people go and look, and they're watching all this stuff, and then all of a sudden they're plucked out and thrown in a Broadway show. And it's completely doable. You just have to not wait for things to come your way. You have to be fiercely courageous and not afraid to put yourself out, to put yourself out there.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing to, you know, yeah, that's kind of like the best piece of advice that you could give, like putting yourself out there, because I know how scary it can be for a lot of people, because you have to take risks, and sometimes it can work, and then sometimes, like, the worst that could possibly happen is they say no, or you just don't get a
Yeah.
call back, or you just don't get a response. They don't answer. Trust me, it just happens. It really does happen. Like, you
A
just
lot.
get 1,000 no's before you actually get a yes. That's
It's
how it
true.
goes. Yep.
It's totally exactly what happens. And when there are a couple, if there are people, or you start looking at other people's journeys, that's another thing. If you have friends and support groups, or you're helping each other, and someone is getting a lot of response and you're not, and you'd be like, well, why are they, and why is it, it's like everyone's journey is different. Everyone's process is different. They're going to come to it. It's your time when it's your time. And yeah, the being fiercely courageous and not be afraid to make an idiot of yourself, not be afraid to not, realize you have nothing to prove. Just every opportunity is another opportunity to put yourself and your art out there. And eventually sometimes you can monetize it yourself. That's very apparent now. Other times you will get someone who has more money that wants to give you a little lift and be like, okay, we'd like to invest in you a little bit more by allowing you to do this. And I think it's important to remember that this business is not linear and is not merit based. It is not like, oh, I did this, now I take another step up and now I get to do this. It is more like bing bang boom bong. I had this amazing thing, now I'm doing this strange little thing, now I had this weird thing that has nothing to do with what I did. It seems so diversive and so chaotic. But it's not till you get to the end of a career and you look back and you're like, oh, they were all leading me to where I am now. And to have the patience and the confidence and the understanding and the forgiveness to allow everything to unfold the way it's supposed to be, and the conviction to be like, I can't imagine myself doing anything else, then I will continue to do this. And if you can imagine doing something else, then do something else. I say that too, because there's a lot of judgment, there's a lot of rejection, like you said, and it takes a lot of fortitude and a tough skin, to be able to endure, and a lot of endurance and belief in yourself.
Yeah. So speaking of doing a lot of different things all at once, what's your favorite? Like when it comes to doing like a show, are you like a more like do you do a lot of drama, comedy, like horror tragedy? Like what is your favorite type of, I guess, style or tone of the projects that you've already done? Like
I will.
what comes easy for you, what comes naturally to you, and what is kind of somewhat tricky, what is tricky to like to fall or slip into, like
I will
yeah,
say what I think what my good thing
yeah,
is uh
up your
I
wheelhouse, yeah, that's it.
yeah, my wheelhouse. I can make you cry, but I can make myself cry, but
Ooh, special talents,
I
yay.
can find humor in things that aren't funny. And so that doesn't mean where I'm like, yuck, yuck, I'm not the comedian, although I can do comedy. I love finding the comedy and the lightness in the dark, if that makes any sense. So that there is where you are creating a real person, because even in our darkest moments there is lightness. So I love, and I did that a lot with Mother in Ragtime, where people are like, I didn't know she was so funny. I'm like, oh, I think she's hysterical, but just being able to find the comedy in something that you didn't know was funny. I
Yeah,
that I love doing,
yeah, so
because then, yeah, then you're not being you're not being a caricature, and you're not just being taking yourself too seriously. So you can sort of weave through all of it.
yeah. So what are some stuff that you'd like to share or talk about right now that if you're not under like some sort of like non-disclosure agreement or anything, what can we expect to see from Miss Christiane Noll? So upcoming work that we can
Well,
expect to see from you in the near future.
there I will be returning. It hasn't been announced yet, so I don't want to like mess it up,
Yeah.
but I will be returning to a theater that I worked at before. And I will not be doing a comedy after the crying for 2 years. I was hoping to do a comedy, but I'm going to be doing an amazing show that has a small cast. It's uh, another brilliant musical, but it is more of it's a play that has music. And that's coming up this fall, and I'm very excited
Yeah.
about that. So it, you'll, it will be posted and people will see it, but I'll be hopefully doing that, or I am doing that. Um, I believe I'm going to be doing some more symphony concerts next year. Not exactly sure when. There were some things on the books. Hopefully a few more TV appearances here and there. I'm really taking things as they come with the business as it is in, and especially at this point, I know I will work again after, because every time you stop working, you're like, oh, I'm never working again, that's it, I'm done. Like, I'm never gonna get hired, no one's gonna hire me to do anything ever again. um but I'm hoping that there will be some more things here and there, and I wish I could say specifically what they are. There's a lot of stuff out in the ether. nothing that I'm permitted to announce at this point, unfortunately. But
That's okay.
but
Yeah.
I'm not going away, Jenny. I'm not going away just yet. So that's good.
Yeah. And favorite musicals in general?
Um, I loved Once on This Island. Um, the that was one that I just would make me weep in so many ways, and how amazing that that was written by the same people that, brought me Ragtime. Uh, yeah,
Yeah. And
that's
what are some, oh, okay. What is something like, can you list like any bit of like fun facts about yourself that, or like just anything interesting that not a lot of people really know about you? It's kind of a fun little question that I ask from time to time.
I teach kids jujitsu.
Yeah.
I train and I practice jujitsu. Our whole family does. But then I teach the like from fourth, and fifth graders, I guess. Yeah, third, fourth, and fifth graders. I teach them, which is a hoot. I love to cook. Um, I am a huge hiker, outdoors person. Just if I can go hiking and walking for miles at a time, I'm that's my happy place. And I love to go out and eat really good food. I have to remind myself to give myself of that, because I'm very frugal. That is I'm cheap. So I save my money. That's something I've done. That's another piece of advice. If you want to make a living as an actor, then save your money. Don't spend it when you get it. Save it and act like your last job was your last job. So, just really be frugal. But I have to remind myself that there are things that I do enjoy, and food is one of them, whether that is buying it and preparing it or going to an amazing restaurant. And I love that. So I have to give myself that gift every once in a while, because it really fills me up.
Yeah. And what do you like to eat?
Oh, any food, good food, like
Yeah,
food,
same.
real food. I
That's the
love
answer.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's your last piece of advice that you could give to anyone out there who wants to give this a shot?
Um, just let your I actually did a coaching with a friend of ours, 13-year-old. Just before you signed on, I was doing a coaching, and she loves performing more than anything, and she is going to a little local school that where she's taking like 18 classes a week. I mean, she's just constant, she's just working, and even when she's exhausted, just the idea of getting to perform just lights her up. But she is very smart and very mental, like me. And what I left her with, which I think she understands, I said, there's no right or wrong answer, and there's no perfect way to do this. What they want to see is who you are, who you where you light up, how what you're singing about. Because when you're singing a song, you don't know what I'm thinking about. You know what you think I'm thinking about, but you have no idea what I'm actually thinking about. So you have to make everything mean something to you personally, and allow yourself to come out. Because I was told, you're going to go to an audition and you're going to see hundreds of people just like you, and that's not true. We're conditioned as actors to think that we are just disposable. Take this piece out, put this piece in. Every single person is unique. Every single person has their own story, their own history, their own life, their own passions, their own loves, their own everything. And my advice is to own that. Don't try to be what someone else expects you to be. You go in being who you are authentically. all of your foibles, all of your imperfections. Go in and show them who you are, because that is more interesting than you trying to become something else. And there's confidence in that when you're like, this is who I am. This is what I do. So,
Yeah.
own that part of yourself, and because you are special and you are enough and you are all of those things, and they'd be lucky to have you. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That certainly helped me out. I definitely needed to hear that. So thank you.
Good. You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah. So where can people find you on social media, and where can um young students out there, where can they find your classes and workshops, and yeah, just promote your socials and all this other stuff that you do.
I am at Christiane dash Noll, or no, dot Noll, Christiane dot Noll on Instagram. I'm at Christiane Noll on Twitter. I teach through Broadway Plus. That you can, I'm in the process of rebuilding my website, so that will be christiannenoll.com. But you can always direct message me. I find that through my Instagram account, which again is Christiane, Christiane.Noll. And we can arrange coachings, or if you don't want to do it through Broadway Plus. But Broadway Plus is an easy way to find me.
Like you said, you're doing that in the future, so be on the lookout.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. So since we still have some time left, let's have a little fun. So
Okay.
going yeah, so going back to The King and I, since you've already mentioned the songs earlier, can we hear just a couple of samples of your majestic singing vocal
Oh my
chops?
heavens. I can try. Hello, young lovers, whoever you are. I hope your troubles are few. All my good wishes go with you tonight. I've been in love like you. Be brave, young lovers, and follow your star. Be brave and faithful and true. Cling very close to each other tonight. I've been in love like you. I know how it feels to have wings on your heels and to fly down a street in a trance. You fly down a street on a chance that you'll meet, and you meet not really by chance. Don't cry, young lovers, whatever you do. Don't cry, because I'm alone. All of my memories are happy tonight. I've had a love of my own. I've had a love of my own like yours. I've had a love of my own. Okay. That's there's the other piece of advice. Always say yes. Don't, whatever is presented to you, say yes. Yes, and don't go, oh no, I can't sing. Oh, I don't know. If someone asks you to sing, go, okay. And just do it.
Yeah. Let's see. What are some of the other ones that you've done for The King and I? Because I know you've done like quite a few songs. I mean, I know it's
Um,
still in the soundtrack.
Shall I tell you what I think of you? You're spoiled. You're a conscientious worker, but you're spoiled. Giving credit where it's due, there is much I like in you, but it's also very true that you're spoiled. Yeah, All this cowing and bow-dowing to remind you of your royalty, I find a most disgusting exhibition. I wouldn't trade. I don't know what it is. I forget. Let's see. Oh, shall we dance? On a bright cloud of music, shall we fly? Shall we dance? Shall we then say good night and mean goodbye? There's that. Let's see. Whenever I feel afraid, I hold my head erect and whistle a happy tune, so no one will suspect I'm afraid. Yeah, those are, I think that's it. There might be others, I'm not sure. You're looking on the soundtrack?
Yeah, Getting to Know You and a couple of
Oh, getting
others.
to know you, getting to know all about you, getting to like you, getting to hope you like me, getting to know you, putting it my way, but nicely. You are precisely my cup of tea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't expecting to sing, so this is great. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. No problemo. I whistle a happy tune. And I think you've pretty much covered them all.
Yep.
I think. Yeah. If there's any more that come up, that yeah. But what is your all-time favorite like song or like tune that you like to, I mean, that you pretty much have already done, that you've belted out, like just your favorite song in general? Just a quick little, you
Oh,
know.
oh gosh. I guess I love going back to before again and again. That's the song that I sang, my big song from Ragtime. I love that. I love the story of that and where she is as a character and being a strong woman at the turn of last century and sort of being the kind of woman that I think we all wish we could be. And
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
cool.
love that one.
But yeah, thank you for the singing. So would you like to
Sure,
do a quick outro for the podcast?
sure, absolutely.
Yeah, so I pretty much have the guests say this and the following. Hi, my name is Christiane Noll. I do this and this and this, and you're watching or you're listening to the Station Square podcast.
Hi, this is Christiane Noll. I am a Broadway concert performer, singer, actor, was nominated for a Tony Award, and you are listening to the Station Square podcast.
Excellent. So yeah, do you have like any last final farewells, any final words? Just anything that you'd like to close us out on in a song or like just yeah, just anything in
Thank
general.
yeah, just thank you so much for inviting me to be on here. You are a lovely person and obviously really enthusiastic about uh, theater and animation and the arts and creativity, and to give a platform where you are interviewing all different kinds of people who do all different kinds of elements of this business. It's not just the people that we know the names of, it's also people we don't know the names of who are working and earning a living in this business. And thank you so much for including me in that. And I'm glad you're doing what you do, because it's wonderful to talk to someone who is enthusiastic about it. And you certainly are. So thank you.
Thanks. And with that, thank you so much for watching the podcast. This will be up on YouTube and all the other podcasting platforms. So stick around and yeah, stay tuned for later this week for when this goes up. And I am signing out here. This is Mr. Robert, and I wish you all a lovely rest of your afternoon, weekend. And yeah, take care, y'all. Peace. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.